Hello, it's Dawn Michelle from Boho Tarot, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Messages from the Mermaids by Karen Kay with illustrations by Linda Olsen. This beautiful 44 card deck offers gentle yet direct solutions to any challenges you might be facing and will guide you to a more harmonious way of living. So dive into this mystical world, open up your heart to the mermaids, and trust that miraculous transformations can happen. So this beautiful mermaid deck is published by Hay House, and it has some of the most diverse work that I've seen in an oracle deck in a long time. It comes in this beautiful two-piece box, and we have a lovely little guidebook inside. On the inside of the box, it says, when you fully open your heart and mind to the mermaids, miraculous transformations can happen. We have a gorgeous little guidebook, which we'll take a look at here in a little bit. And of course, our beautiful cards sitting inside. I have taken the wrapping off of them, but we are going to be looking through them really for the first time together here today. Here is the gorgeous backs of the cards. They are of course reversible, although I don't use reversals with oracle or tarot, but it's nice to know that they are if you need them to be. So let's go ahead and take a look at these beautiful cards. I am going to read a little snippet from the guidebook just so that we can get an idea of the author's intention while we look at the artist's rendition of each card. So here we have abundance. Allow abundance to flow to you. This mermaid is sharing her abundance with you. The treasure you see is symbolic of the treasures awaiting for you in their many forms. Next we have acceptance, and acceptance is the doorway to freedom. This mermaid is at peace because she's in total acceptance of her situation. She asks you to release any resistance or desire of wishing things to be different and to totally trust and accept things as they are. Here we have ask for help. Now is the time for you to give or receive help. This mermaid is using her conch shell to call for help. She says we all need the help of others sometimes. Here we have awareness. Use your intuition to become more aware of what's going on around you at this time. This mermaid wants you to know that it's time to ground yourself and become more aware. Here we have be spontaneous. Do something that takes you out of your normal routine. This mermaid is feeling very comfortable with her life, so much so that she's forgotten to take risks and embrace the spontaneity of life. She says it's time to do something different every day. Here we have the card of blessings. Prepare yourself to receive an abundance of blessings. This mermaid is preparing herself for beautiful blessings by being receptive and filled with gratitude. Here we have the card of breaking free. Look honestly at your situation. Are you becoming entangled without realizing it? This mermaid wants you to know it's okay to say no sometimes. Next, we have the card of communication. There's something you need to communicate, and now is the time to do it. You can see the mermaid communicating with the turtle. This shows that communication can take many forms. Here we have contemplation. Contemplate your current situation and allow your thoughts and feelings to flow. Enjoying her time in contemplation, this mermaid uses her creativity to look at various outcomes and scenarios. Next, we have the card of contentment. Count your blessings and stay in a place of contentment. This serene mermaid is totally at ease as she sits on a bridge with the light from the lighthouse shining in her direction, illuminating her blessings and helping her to feel deep gratitude for her life situation. Here we have decisions. Consider your choices carefully and then act. Pondering her options, this mermaid knows that she can swim in any direction and the choice is ultimately hers. Here we have discernment. It says use discernment combined with wisdom, for you'll soon make a discovery that could benefit your life or the lives of others in a wonderful way. This mermaid is contemplating the reality of her revelation and thinking about how and if this discovery should be revealed and to whom. Here we have the card of dive deep. It says dive deeply into your current situation to help reveal any hidden factors at play. Mermaids are very much at home in their watery world of emotions. And as you dive into the depths of yourself, experience the magic and wonder of your beautiful inner world. Here we have the card of dreaming with a message to pay attention to your dreams. Both night dreams and daydreams can manifest into reality when you combine them with practical action. Here we have feelings. Emotions can come in powerful waves of intense feelings. This mermaid is swimming into your reading to let you know that it's safe to express your feelings. You don't have to pretend everything is fine when it's not. Here we have free spirit. Express yourself and allow your spirit to feel free. This mermaid says it's fun to feel free. That doesn't mean shirking your responsibility, though. It's important and possible to find a balance between fulfilling your wild and free spirit while honoring your responsibilities, especially when others are involved or relying on you. Here we have the card of friendship. Being with like-minded friends is the tonic you need right now. The message here is that quality company and true friendship would be a good thing for you at this time. Here we have the future. Change your viewpoint to influence the future. Gazing into the future, this mermaid says you can see potential outcomes from your present vantage point. However, this isn't the full picture and it is changeable. Here we have gentleness. Be gentle towards yourself and others this time. This merman says that looks can be deceptive and gentleness can be found in the most unlikely people and situations. Here we have the card of go with the flow. You'll get where you need to be when you surrender and trust the natural flow of life. This mermaid wants you to know that life can be more fun when you go with the flow. She's allowing herself to be carried along by the currents of the sea. She has total trust in the ocean to take her wherever her destiny may lead. Here we have gratitude. Develop an attitude of gratitude and watch the world around you change for the better. This mermaid has swum into your reading today to remind you to be grateful. She says it's easy to be grateful for the good things in life, but imagine if you could be grateful for everything, knowing that the universe never makes a mistake. Here we have the card of healing with a reminder to set aside time for self-healing. Welcome and allow healing energies to flow into your life and share that healing energy with others. These mermaids bring a powerful healing energy to your reading today. Next, we have the card of hope. When things feel hopeless, change your outlook to feeling hopeful. Trust in the magical flow of life and love. This mermaid can't see the sun shining behind her through the clouds or the vibrant rainbows. She's totally absorbed in her own inner world. All she needs to do is look behind her and she'll see the symbols of hope all around her. Here we have inner knowing. This is the moment to trust your inner knowing. The stage of doubting is over and it's time to believe in yourself. This mermaid has the look of inner knowing and she's swimming into your reading today to affirm that you have access to this inner knowing too. It's about believing in yourself and trusting your intuition, which is a powerful tool in life. Here we have the card of innocence. Focus on innocence as you navigate through the current situation. This mermaid protects her heart, for this is the home of innocence. This delicate yet paradoxically strong part of ourselves can feel or appear corrupted as we journey through life, yet in truth, it's always pure. Next, we have the card of letting go. Keep hope in your heart by letting go. It's possible to salvage something you thought was lost by releasing any attachments and letting go. This mermaid wants you to know the power of letting go. Try to forgive and surrender any pain or feelings of loss. Here we have the card of light. You are like a lighthouse, and your light can illuminate any dark areas of your life. This mermaid reminds you to shine your light wherever you go and to not be shy. She reminds you to be aware that light is attractive to others and acts rather like a magnet, drawing others like a moth to a flame. Here we have the card of love. Open yourself to universal or romantic love. This mermaid is bathing in the bliss of unconditional love. She loves herself, which means she's able to be fully loved by others. Here we have the card of magic. Open your eyes and heart to wonder and magic. Here we see the Merlin in his cave. He's a powerful and wise wizard who weaves magic between the sea and land. He's giving the magical Mer Fairy a pearl of wisdom so that she may receive the innate wisdom of the land and ocean, bringing harmony to both. Here we have the card of memories. Make some new memories. Meet life head-on as a wealth of experiences await, helping memories to manifest. This mermaid swims in from your past, or from your future, with a handful of photographs to remind you of special time in your life. Memories take up permanent residence within our heart and mind, so it may be time to create some new magical ones to fill your beautiful heart with even more joy and echoes of loving moments in your life. Here we have the card of miracles. Be open to receiving miracles in your life. This mermaid asks you to prepare for incoming miracles. Miracles can manifest in many ways and can occur when we least expect them. Here we have a move forward. The time for waiting is over and forward movement is required. This warrior king of the sea strides boldly forward to ask you to do the same. He says this is the time to make a move, so follow him now. Next, we have the card of mystery. Embrace the wonderful mystery of life. This mermaid comes to share the importance of mystery. She wants you to know that there's no need to demystify things. Here we have patience. It's helpful to let go of any expectations and surrender to life as it reveals itself. This mermaid is being patient. She trusts in life and in the process of allowing her path to unfold in the most perfect way. Here we have positivity. A positive attitude can carry you through any situation. This super positive mermaid is holding her arms outstretched as she calls you to allow more positivity into your life. Here we have re-energize. You may feel like you've been running on empty, so get back on track and recharge your batteries. This mermaid says to be mindful of how you're spending your energy. Focus on yourself and do whatever makes you feel good so you can feel energized once again. Recognition. You've worked super hard and it's time to reap the rewards of seed sown. It says everybody has their 5 minutes of fame, but this mermaid is saying it could be for a lot longer than 5 minutes. You've earned this incoming recognition. Appreciate and relish the acknowledgement that's coming your way. Here we have the card of relaxation. It's time for some rest and recuperation. Mermaids know how to relax, and this one is floating into your reading to say chill out. Here we have the card of solitude. Take time to retreat from the world. This solitary mermaid is saying that the tonic you need right now is some alone time. Here we have support. Call upon your trusted friends. Their perspective will reveal insights into your life that you may not have previously seen or considered. These mermaids are swimming in to support you now because they know another viewpoint is required to help you see your situation clearly from all angles. Here we have the card of trust. Trust in life. Nothing happens by chance and the universe is guiding you towards your destiny. This mermaid says everything is working out perfectly and for the highest good of all, even if it doesn't feel that way right now. Here we have the card of truth. Admit the truth to yourself. Accepting the truth can set you free and be a joyful experience. This mermaid looks at you with the eyes of truth and asks you to consider honestly any areas of your life that worry you. Here we have the card of turn away. Turn away from or turn your back on a situation that isn't serving your highest good. This mermaid is showing you that turning away is the correct course of action, even if it's only a temporary measure. Here we have the card of waiting. Call on the qualities of patience while you're waiting for something to happen. This mermaid asks, what is it you're waiting for? It's important to take some form of action to meet that wish halfway. So now that we've had a chance to take a look at all the cards in the deck and read a little bit from the guidebook, let's take a quick peek at what else is inside this guidebook. It is, of course, deck size, so it fits right in the box, which is quite wonderful. We have our title page, we have our table of contents. It does say up here Oracle of the Fairies, which I do know is another deck by this author, and so I think that is probably a misprint just on this one title page on at least my particular deck. I do like that we have all the interpretations of the cards in alphabetical order and there is page number, so that makes them really easy to find. We have a little bit of an introduction here. There is a poem here, and then we have a little bit about the wisdom of mermaids. A little bit about this guidebook and deck. So it says Messages from the Mermaids is a guidance and divination tool for both beginners and experienced readers who resonate with mermaid energy or feel drawn to working with these magical creatures of the sea. So Messages of the Mermaids comprises 44 cards featuring artwork by Linda Olsen, and this guidebook, which will aid you with the expanded explanations of the messages on the cards. So then we talk a little bit about how to work with your cards, using them for readings, creating a bond with them. So here we have a couple of things to help you prepare for a reading: creating sacred space, take a mermaid bath, protection and grounding. Then we have a little bit about working with the spreads. So we have a kind of single card present, a 3-card past, present, future. Then we also have a seashell spread, which I do quite like. I like when they include a spread that is particular to the deck. We also have a starfish spread. And then we have some information about doing your first reading with this deck, some other ways to use the cards, and then we go into the interpretations. So there's quite a bit of information in here. If you are new to working with oracles, that might be quite helpful, and the rest of the book does include the interpretations. For each of the cards, we get 2 pages. We have a little black and white thumbnail, the title, a kind of summary message here, and then a little bit diving deeper into what the card might mean in a reading, as well as some questions to ask yourself when working with this card. It also talks about some different things you can do to tap into the energy of the card, so like meditation or picking up a phone and calling somebody. And we have all of that for each of the 44 cards all throughout. And then we have a little bit about the artist and then about the author. Again, it's a nice little guidebook. And I do like that it fits the deck in the box and it all comes together. So now that we've had a chance to look at the deck and the guidebook, let's go ahead and talk about the cardstock and give the cards a little shuffle. They are pretty much your standard Oracle size deck from Hay House. They do have a glossy cardstock. So they're quite shiny. Good size though, 44 cards, and they do shuffle quite nicely. They are sticking together just a little bit because again, that glossy cardstock. But as you can see, I am able to riffle shuffle them. And of course, they are going to catch my lights as I overhand. And as you can see here, they're a little bit, they're kind of sticking together a little bit, and they're a little bit harder for me to overhand, again, because they're glossy, they're kind of sticking together, kind of clumping up a little bit. But I'm sure as most glossy decks do, that would work out a little bit with time. So let's go ahead and pull a couple cards just so we can see what they look like on the table. So here we have feelings, dreaming, and positivity. So beautiful artwork in this deck, of course. This artist, Linda Olsen, she is well known for her mermaid artwork. And this is a deck of curated art because all of these images can also be found on her website. So I'm assuming that they took the artwork and overlaid the oracle meanings over the top of it, which as we often see done when we're talking about a deck using artwork from a established artist. So that is definitely something to keep in mind. So now, of course, with most of my oracle decks, what I like to do and what I primarily use them for is to pair with tarot. So let's go ahead and take a look at this deck paired with some of my tarot decks. So the first deck that I wanted to pair this oracle with is, of course, my new Mermaid tarot, and that is actually why I purchased this particular Mermaid deck, was because I had seen this pairing done many times on many other channels, and these decks do go together absolutely beautifully. I'm really interested to see how they work together and how they actually read together, but as far as just having them on the table and what you see when they come up, they go together beautifully. They're both very diverse and they both have gorgeous artwork. So starting off, we have gentleness in between the Empress and the Four of Pentacles. Quite a beautiful message there. So let's just flip through a couple cards so we can kind of see how these all work together. So we have decisions between the Star and the Ace of Wands. Maybe trying to make some decisions about the paths that you're following. That's quite beautiful. Again, I think these decks pair really well together. The art styles are very compatible, and so of course they look wonderful together, and we have that lovely mermaid energy through both. So here we have the card of letting go, and interesting that we have the Eight of Pentacles over here and the Five of Cups over here, and this particular Five of Cups card does speak very plainly to the energy of letting go, and so I think that works really well here paired with this big, beautiful oracle card, reminding you that that is the central focus. That is what you need to be focusing on so that we can move on to some bigger and better things. That's quite beautiful. So here we have communication between the King of Cups and the High Priestess. That is quite a powerful pairing. I do really like that. So I'll just flip through a couple more. Again, this is a pairing that I've seen done from a lot of different people, and so I don't want to spend too much time on it because I know that there are lots of other videos available working with these particular decks together, but I just wanted to see kind of how they worked together, how the energies played. So here we have discernment between the Ace of Pentacles and the King of Swords. That's quite an interesting pairing. Solitude between the Six of Pentacles and Justice. I love the play of the light and the water going on over here. That's quite beautiful. Okay, let's do one more. So we have move forward Remember, following that King Triton here that he looks like, that Sea King, in between the Ace of Cups and Judgment. So interesting, moving forward into that call, right? So another deck that I thought might be an interesting pairing with the messages from the mermaids is the Mystic Fairy Tarot. Now, I do kind of see fairies and mermaids as kind of existing in the same type of realm or space or energetic space. We have the fairies with that otherworldly energy kind of the air, and the mermaids having that otherworldly energy below the water. And so I thought this might be an interesting pairing of kind of a above and below type of energy, or within and without type of energy, as we see represented through each of the magical creatures. So here we have innocence between the Eight of Wands and the Moon. If we were looking at the Mystic Fairy Tarot to kind of be what's going on in the outer realm and what's going on in the inner realm, that would be a really interesting reading to look at how we're trying to maintain our innocence within the movement of the Eight of Wands and maybe that inner call of the Moon. Quite beautiful. So here we have mystery between the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Swords. What are these knights going to discover? What mystery are they going to reveal as they go out on their adventures? That's quite beautiful. Here we have relaxation between the Tower and the Priestess. Maybe we need to find this moment of relaxation after the destruction of the Tower as we tap into the inner wisdom of the High Priestess. That is quite an interesting combination there. I do think that the art styles, although they are not the same at all, I think that they do work quite well together. They have kind of a flow of movement and color that I think draws them together really well, particularly in these yellows and turquoise colors that we see in the Mystic Fairy Tarot, that we also see mirrored here in the messages from the Mermaid. And we can also pull in some of those browns that we're seeing in the rock and kind of the earthy elements. We get that in the Mystic Fairy Tarot as well. So it's quite interesting when we're looking at those kind of flows between color and movement and how things are kind of energetically flowing across the cards. So here we have the future between Strength and the Sun, two major arcana cards. That is quite interesting. I do really like the kind of way that these decks kind of balance each other out, that sort of air energy and water energy. Quite an interesting pairing here. So here we have Ask for Help with the Seven of Cups and the Five of Wands. Beautiful. Ask for help when things are going astray. We'll do one more here. Go with the flow between the Five of Cups and Judgment. Sometimes things just happen and we just have to go with the flow and heed the call. That is quite beautiful. So along the same lines, another pairing that I thought would be really interesting is the messages from the Mermaid paired with the Tower of a Hidden Realm. So similar to that kind of fairy energy we just saw, now I have what I see more as a little bit more fae energy, a little bit more wild, a little bit more raw, and pairing that with kind of the softer nature of the messages from the Mermaids, I thought might make a really interesting pairing. So here we have acceptance between the Hermit and the Six of Wands. Definitely feels like a card of accepting who we are on the inside and out, and I think that's quite beautiful. Again, I think the art styles are going to be very compatible. We do have two phenomenal artists here in these two decks, and so I think that they will work together quite beautifully. Here we have hope between the Three of Swords and the Four of Cups. Maintaining your hope even when things aren't quite going the right way, and sometimes we just have to kind of surrender to that, as we see in that Four of Cups. Quite interesting. So here we have the card of friendship between the Ace of Pentacles and the Three of Cups. I think that's a beautiful combination for friendship. We have that kind of foundational earthy energy, pulling in the idea of friendship and bringing it together in collaboration to create something new, to connect from the heart space. I think that is quite beautiful. Again, I think the colors are also quite compatible in these two decks as well, which is always something that I enjoy. So here we have Memories with the Ace of Wands and the Two of Swords. That's quite beautiful as well. Re-energize between the Three of Pentacles and the King of Wands. Beautiful. Let's do one more. Here we have patience between our Page of Wands and the Shadow Dance. Beautiful. So now that we've kind of looked at a deck for each of the elements, I kind of feel like we had the Mermaid Tarot paired for that real heavy water element. We had the Mystic Fairy Tarot pulling in that air energy, and we had the Tower of a Hidden Realm pulling in kind of that earthy energy. So now I thought we would pull in something that's a little bit more masculine with some fire energy to kind of balance this watery, kind of feminine, watery nature we see in the messages of the mermaids. I thought those might work really well together as well. So here we have gratitude in between the Emperor and the Ace of Pentacles. That's quite beautiful. Remembering to have gratitude for all the good things inside and out. I think that works quite well. Again, we are looking at two totally different art styles, but again, two really wonderful artists. So we have support between the Queen of Wands and the Nine of Wands. Interesting play with color and shadow and light. I think that works really well in these two decks. I do also like the kind of more fiery masculine energy that we're seeing in the Modern Spellcasters Tarot. I might have forgot to mention the deck name when we started this little pairing. To me, this deck has a very kind of masculine, a little bit fiery energy. It does feel very grounded in earth as well, but there's definitely a fire underlay to this deck for me. So here we have blessings in between the Eight of Pentacles and the Five of Pentacles. That's quite beautiful. Here we have recognition between Temperance and the Seven of Pentacles. Again, doing that work, put that time and effort in, bringing things into balance, and that will bring you the recognition. Although I would see that more as the recognition that you need to give yourself, not so much the external validation, but the internal one. That's really what I see in all these cards together, which I think is quite beautiful. Here we have miracles between the Three of Swords and the High Priestess. Quite an interesting combination there. Dive deep between the Six of Swords and the Six of Pentacles. Interesting, both sixes, numbers of harmony. I do quite like that. Dive into that harmony of self, that harmony of your path and where you're going, what you take from the world and what you put out into it. That's quite beautiful. And here we have trust between the King of Pentacles and the Ten of Swords. Trust that things are going to work out the way they are meant to. That is quite lovely. I think that the artwork in this deck is really what its big draw is, because we have these beautiful mermaids, but we do see some variety and some diversity in not only body types and skin colors, but also some masculine cards as well as feminine. One of the things that I think didn't, just in full transparency, didn't really wow me about this deck is actually the guidebook. I didn't feel like the messages really gave me much. So I kind of want to just do something a little bit different because I have had other mermaid decks in the past which don't have the visual diversity that this one does, but the guidebook I think was a little bit more on par with type of guidebooks that I like to see, and unfortunately I lent that deck to a friend, so I can't pull it out for comparison. But I thought we would just pull a card and actually read the whole entry from the guidebook, because it wasn't quite clicking for me as I was doing the walkthrough. So I want to just read the whole message. And so here we have trust. Says everything is working out perfectly and for the highest good of all, even if it doesn't feel that way right now. It's important to put your trust in life and know that all is well. Sometimes we can feel like a feather in the wind, blown this way and that, feeling out of control. Yet the truth is we're never truly in control. Allow your heart and inner wisdom to guide you through your situation, knowing that your sun will rise and shine once again. When our rational mind becomes dominant and our need to control takes over, life can be challenging. Yet within our mind, we also have the power to turn things around and surrender to our destiny as it unfolds, even if this feels uncomfortable at times. Know that your journey is unfolding exactly as it should, and there's nothing to concern yourself about. Life is creative and full of twists and turns. It's all a part of the grand harmonious symphony of existence, but it's okay to sing out of tune sometimes. Trust that life is metaphorically helping you compose a brand new song. However you interpret this card's meaning, our message will keep coming back to trust. The place where you now find yourself is an indication that your destiny is unfolding. It's a time of rebirth into the new and unknown, which can be frightening even though there's nothing to fear. Go within and know all is well and trust in your life's process. So reading the full entry, I mean, I do like that a little bit better. It feels a little bit more well-rounded than just kind of reading this first little bit. These first little things here, these little sections here are kind of like takeaway messages or kind of a sum up. So for trust, it says trust in life. Nothing happens by chance and the universe is guiding you towards your destiny. Have faith and trust. And that's nice. I really kind of wanted to get a little bit fuller message from the card. So I'm glad I took the time to kind of dive a little bit deeper into the guidebook. With a deck like this, I don't often use the guidebook, to be perfectly honest. I may come to it just to pull out a nugget or two to include in some journaling or to kind of include as a wrap-up message for my reading. But for the most part, I tend to kind of work with decks like these a bit more intuitively, really letting the imagery and the artwork and the keywords, if they're good solid keywords, really kind of help tap me in. I'm not so sure about the keywords in connection to the artwork as well. There are a few of them that kind of miss the mark for me. And I think that is just because this is curated art, pre-existing artwork from this particular artist, and they've just kind of curated a collection of them together to create this deck. And so sometimes, like, I don't see miracles in this artwork. So sometimes the keywords aren't quite connecting, and I was noticing that as I was going through the deck as well. I don't see the miracle in this card. This one, I mean, I can kind of see the hope reading the guidebook. You know, we're looking back at that rainbow behind us. Communication works as we're talking to the sea turtle, friendship. Memories, I feel like only works because we have these photographs here, which actually look like they're kind of plugged in there. I'm not sure those were part of the original artwork. They kind of look like they were photoshopped in, but that could just be the way it's looking. Again, decisions, I don't really see decisions in this particular image. Positivity, I think that's a good keyword for that. Same with this inner knowing. I'm not sure I would get that off the artwork. So there's just a few of them that I don't know that the artwork quite connects to the keyword. And this is often the case when we're using artwork that was pre-existing and we're trying to fit it into an oracle deck. This to me feels much more like an affirmation deck. There is no structure, there is no system. This is just a bunch of artwork with some keywords and messages all attached to the cards. So there's not an underlying structure or anything to kind of support it. I see it definitely as being more of an affirmative type of deck where you're kind of pulling a card and you're kind of looking for the lighter side or the brighter side of the message. Being that this is a mermaid deck, that kind of works because what we're looking for when we tend to work with mermaid energies is tapping into the emotions, the realm of the ocean and emotion and feeling, and in the realm of the heart and maybe that inner space. So that's definitely a good thing to have some healing and affirmation for, a little bit of positivity in your day. I tend to look at my oracle decks like this to be focal points for my readings. And so I'll be curious to see how these particular keywords and images work with creating a focal point for a tarot reading. However, they do pair beautifully with quite a few of my decks, as we saw. And I am looking forward to kind of working with them, getting to know them a little bit better, getting to know those messages a little bit better. I do like to work with the guidebook a little bit when I'm starting out with a new oracle deck, but kind of once I get a feel for it, I tend to kind of just go a little bit more intuitively based on what I'm seeing on the artwork and maybe on the keyword if it feels applicable to my reading. So again, that is a look at the messages from the Mermaids by Karen Kay with artwork by Linda Olsen and published by Hay House. So I would love to know what you think about this deck. If you have it, what your experiences are. So please feel free to share with me in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you again soon for more creative tarot for an inspired life.